I'll just kind of sit here for a minute, see who all comes on, and we'll kind of explain what we're doing. There we go. Hello, 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 hello. Good. Sound is working. Yeah, we just need some people to catch up to us. So, good morning, or afternoon, I should say. Let's see who else is getting here. Hey, Michael. Yeah, I picked 2 o'clock because I figured 10 o'clock at night would be okay for you. So, what sketchy shit are you trying? I will show you guys in just a minute. I'm gonna wait for a few more people to get in here before we get too sketchy. But I want to show you what I'm doing. I'm gonna pull this a little bit forward because I can't quite see everybody. Let me move my computer just a little bit closer to me so I can see what I'm doing. See who's talking to me. Hi, Tim. Hi, Johnny. So I'm sure some of you are aware of the Laguna is the tool that I or the lathe that I use. So we're going to talk a little bit about Laguna here in a minute, and you're getting a rough idea looking at the setup. Yeah. I'll get you a little closer here in just a minute after we get people in here, but I repeat myself too much, so I'm going to wait until we have a few people. But I guess I'll get back to the screen here for a second. This ought to scare some people off just seeing me, right? At any rate, so long story short, I have a Laguna lathe, and I really like the lathe. It is a very, very good lathe. It works really well. It's workhorse. It really is. It has one really big flaw, which you heard me talking about the other day, and that is this banjo, which holds a tool rest. Their banjo is a compression tool rest, or banjo. In other words, what it does is you have a pinch point here, and I got to go get that. And you have a little pinch point here of the metal, and this when you turn this, it tightens the metal grip on the metal and squeezes it together, and that's what holds the rest together. Well, that's not the most brilliant way of doing it. There's other ones that use a cam mechanism, which is much better. And as you can see, this is some of the metal that came off of there. Okay, it snapped off. So, and actually, what it is, it crushed in the metal just gave in. So that's basically what started all this. Okay, so a week ago on the 4th of January, I went to my computer and I called or I ordered a new rest. I didn't ask them to replace it or anything. A few years old, could have been my fault. Who knows? Anyway, I ordered a new one, almost like $185 plus shipping and everything else. So let's say $200. So I ordered it, and I checked A few days later, they still had not done anything with it. So I called them up and I said, hey, it's you've had my order for 5 days. Are you guys going to be shipping it? And they said, well, you didn't order priority shipping. Well, to you and me, I always thought priority shipping was the type of shipper that they used. Like, do they use the post office as opposed to, say, overnight FedEx or something like that? So I didn't know that it meant the guy in the shipping department is going to take priority, decide when he goes to take the box and carry it over to the shipping label, put a shipping label on it, and send it off. I mean, that's apparent. That's all they have to do because it was a part that was in stock. This was an in-stock part, okay? Not that they'd go do anything special with it. So as of yesterday, it's still pending. They still have not even shipped it. So they've had it they order for 9 days basically and have not done a thing about shipping it out to me yet. I have no idea why, but to me, that's pretty poor consumer help. I mean, that's just not helping your customers at all. I mean, you want people to be using your lathe, right? So what I did is I went down to Lowe's or Home Depot, Lowe's, and I got a rubber hose clamp. And this rubber hose clamp is about 2 inches, and it fits. And what I had to do is I had to take a Sawzall and saw off this so that it was more roundish, okay? And then I put 3 clamps on it, and I've clamped them down using this, okay? And it holds. I mean, it's in good shape. It's holding so far. I say that, holding so far. I would never recommend anybody do this at home, okay? This is not something you want to be doing at home. I would never recommend this, and that's why I said do not try this. But I thought we would go ahead and run it through its paces today just to see how well it does. Now, just to let you know, I also ordered one from One Way, and One Way makes a really good replacement banjo for the Laguna, and it works on others too. Wonderful people. I called them. They answer the phone themselves. I didn't have to go through a computer or anything. And I called them up and I said, hey, can I get one? And they said, yeah, we have it, but we don't have them in stock because we're waiting for the new, I guess they have the forms made and they were out of at the time. So they were having some new ones brought in. They weren't going to be here until the end of January. So she says, do you want it to be, you want us to go ahead and drill it for the clamping system? And I said, sure. I mean, that's kind of par for the course, right? So they're doing that too. And they said, how much? And they said, that's $3. $3 lousy. That's it. $3. I said, sure, let's do it. $3. I can live with that. So they're going to send that to me. It's more expensive than the Laguna, but now I'll have 2 banjos, and the other one, the One Way, is supposed to be a much better banjo. It's got a much better clamping system. Everyone who says that they've gotten it says it's different, night and day difference. So I'll still have my Laguna, but I will have a different banjo on it, and I'll use the other one as a backup. I don't mind paying for 2 of them. You want to know how much it was? Well, the banjo for the Laguna is about $200, and the banjo from One Way was about I want to say $225, something like that. So it's not too much difference in price, but apparently a world of difference as far as how they handle their customers. So just letting you know. I mean, I'm not trying to downplay Laguna or anything, but customer service has never been one of their strong points, and this is a good example of it. Whenever you talk to other woodworkers, that's the one thing they'll say about Laguna. Great tool, not very good customer service. And in this particular case, I can agree, it was not very good customer service. So what I'm going to do here is, what I've done is, since I had a lot of free time on my hands the last couple of weeks, I cut up a bunch of poplar blanks. I went down to the same store where I got this, and I got a board, like a 2-foot board or something, and I cut a bunch of these blanks up. Now, I did a couple glue ups on a couple of them so they can be thicker, but this one I'm using thin. Just want to use it for kind of a test. And what you do is you put those on, you find the center, put your faceplate on there like so. Hope you can see that. Let me pull back just a little bit so you can see what I'm doing. Okay. Put your faceplate on there like so. Drill them in, and then you've got this. Now, this is a single piece of wood because I just wanted to experiment with the single piece of wood first. But what we're going to do is we're going to make a glue block for this. Okay, this is going to become a glue block. So what happens when you've got a thin piece of wood that you can't or don't want to drill a hole into or anything else, like say this, I can glue this onto here and I can turn this out. This will be turned down, but I could glue it onto here and turn this piece of wood without having any holes in it. And it's great for doing plates. And I'm going to be doing some plates here pretty soon. And so that's why I'm kind of getting some of these done up. But and you don't have to sit here and I hate this part. You don't have to sit here and kind of round them out perfectly because they're not really going to be the part that you're presenting. But you do want to make sure that it's centered and so forth. So to make it easier, I kind of round them to center it. So let's kind of just take this down. The one thing I like about poplar is it turns very easily, but it holds up well in the gluing process. So okay, so I think I can be a little bit more aggressive. I'm being kind of being a little careful here because of the rest. See how close we are. Just a little bit of flat spot. Okay, we'll get that off of there. Here, all the way around. Okay, I'll just clean this up. Okay. And we're done. So this is now ready to be a glue faceplate. Now, what you can do, and what I've done with a couple of the others, is I actually glued two pieces together because this is kind of thin. And when you're putting a screw through, you can get the screw to come through into this a little bit. So I just took a file and just took that little point off. That's all I did there. But now it's ready to go. You kind of do a little crosshatch pattern with a screw or something just to kind of make it so it'll stick to the wood a little better. And then you just glue your blank onto it with hot glue. Put a little hot glue around the edge of the seal also just to hold it on. Let it set. I would let it sit up to 24 hours. I mean, you could use it within 20 minutes, but let it set a little bit. It might be a little bit better depending on the type of hot glue that you use. But then you're ready to go. It's already centered here. As long as you center it on here, you're ready to turn your blank, and you can turn plates, little thin plates and so forth, and not have to worry about putting any holes in the bottom of them, anything. It's just a really handy way of doing it and very inexpensive. See, I've got another one here. This one I'm going to glue up together, and I'll just put that right in the middle with 4 little screws. And this one I can put a little bit longer screws in so they go through both. And what I'll do is I'll score both of these and glue them with wood glue, and put a little clamp on them and hold them down until they're nice and smooth. The nice thing is poplar comes very smooth and very flat, So there's no gaps between. This will be a very nice flat piece to use. And just a really handy thing, just a really handy way of dealing with small blanks that you might be turning. So there you go. Okay, so what I am going to do today, because it looks like this is holding so far, we laugh. It hasn't killed me yet. We're going to go ahead and put this on. Now, I did take a little bit of a turn on this because I knew the bark was going to come flying off on me, and sure did. Big chunks of it. And at first I thought this was birch. It looks like birch to me, but the wood doesn't look like birch. It looks more like walnut, actually. And I think that's about the right position. Maybe want to raise it up just a little bit. So if I do, I'll raise this up to there. And I will tighten this just a little bit more if I can. Not sure if I can, but we'll see if we can. There we go. And I am using my impact drill, not a regular drill, because I don't want to break through the rubber. I just want it to grab and hold. So that's pretty tight. Okay, let's give this a swing and see what happens. Let me see what you guys are writing before I go any farther. I did hear about the new pin company you found. You might want to put that up here, Michael. I'm sorry I didn't answer you sooner. And project kits too. Yeah, if you want to put that in here, go right ahead. Feel free. And guys, if you can, hit the like button, subscribe. We've hit over 4,000 subscribers now, and we're on our way to 5. Are you sending you some stuff to try out? That's great. Hi, Chase. Chase got to deal with them, yes. And you've managed one also. Great. Be really careful with these companies that are contacting you. This is what happened to 77 Rockets. Ryan the other day, he got his YouTube channel hacked by somebody who was sending him a thing. It looked like a sponsor. It looked very legit. It looked like a sponsor. And when he clicked on it, it took him to a site where it basically stole all of his information. He's trying to get Google to reset him because he is up at 50,000 subscribers. And you don't want to have to reset your whole system when you're at 50,000 subscribers. So I'm going to go ahead and start turning this. Again, if you have a chance to like and subscribe, please do so. That's pretty good. I think I should take my watch off, though. There you go. And I think I'll roll my sleeves up just a little bit. Don't like to have sleeves near the wood. Okay, let's see what we do here. As you can see, this is very powdery. And again, as you always know, that's how you attack these. You don't come straight in on them. You come from down here. You use your bevel. You ride the angle up, and that's how you avoid getting bang, bang, bang hit all the time. And we can pull in just a little bit, I think. Okay. Always like to stay close to the wood. Okay. And I'm not so much turning for an aesthetic here, I'm turning for proof of concept. I want to prove that I can actually do this with this lathe until my part comes, because Laguna doesn't seem to want to get it to me in any hurry. And they're not interested in being able to show the positives of the tool. We're getting pretty close to round. Interesting wood. Got a little bit of cracking in here. I don't think that's going to be a big issue. So even though we have the pith right here, I'm leaving it all on just to see what we can do here. There. That took that out in one pretty big swoop, didn't it? What do you think of that? Okay, that came out pretty quickly, didn't it? Well, it made quite the mess. But looking at this, would you say that looks like walnut to me? Does that look like walnut to you guys too? Let me know what you think. This didn't look like walnut to me, but that does. So I'm not sure what's going on here. Okay, so now we're going to come around here. See if I can clear off part of this. And this is going to make bark fly. Whoa, there's a big piece. That was a big piece of it. I'm going to have to adjust my tail sock here a little bit. Let's go down. There we go. As I said, all this is kind of a little bit weird right now working this way. Whoa, right into my face. Thank God I had the mask on, huh? I got to see what it is that's causing all this bumping here. Okay. So some of the pieces that were coming off and hitting me in the face there. Why do you turn backwards from normal? I'm not turning backwards from normal. What you're doing is you're looking at it in a reverse mode. I'm turning normally. I'm turning from here out now and then back again, if that's what you mean. I was coming out and I was also going in. I was doing a push cut and a pull cut. Is that what you mean? I'm not sure. Okay, well. No problem. I know sometimes when guys are using the camera the other way, not this way that I'm doing it here, you get that reverse view, and that really screws things up. Okay, just kind of forming things a little bit here, trying to see where we're at. Okay, I think. Okay, I can do that. That. I'm going to form a little bit of a pedestal here. Let's see. And yes, I can do this with a skew. Okay. I can also do it this way. Okay. Okay, let's just see where we're getting here. Now see if I do let's see. If I do a recessed tenon here, if I did a recessed tenon, I would be pushing against this. I might have to do a regular full tenon on this one. On the outside, something you rarely see me do. So this would be something new and exciting, in a sense. We just don't do this very often. But let me get out my tools and see what we can do here. Right there. We can make this. Like using the skew for this. Yeah. Yeah, I have a feeling that's going to be a better. That's going to be a better hold. Take it down just a little bit. Don't want it too high. That looks about right. What do you think, guys? Pretty good? Okay. Please hit that like button and subscribe if you can. I see we got quite a few people in here, and about 25 likes, I think. So I'd like to get to 100 likes today if we could. But more importantly, if you guys want to subscribe, I do these lives a couple times a week, especially on Thursdays. That's our regular day. So what am I making? Well, right now I'm making a mess. Really what this is a test subject. Again, for those of you that haven't been in here earlier, I'll show you what I did. My lathe was broken right there. The mechanism on the banjo that holds the tool rest in, the metal fatigued and cracked, and it's taking forever for Laguna to get me a new one. So in the meantime, I got a pipe clamp with a rubber clamp, and I put 3 clamps on it, and that's what I'm using to hold my lathe together. It's not ideal, and I do not recommend it for anybody out there. Please do not do this. I'm doing it as an experiment. I'm old. I've lived a good life. You know, I've lived a good life, and that's good enough. But I'm going to go ahead and take this down just a little bit now on the sides and kind of form it up, and then we will finish it off and turn it around and go from there. So I have a little bit of trouble with the locking mechanism on here. That's one of the problems I have right now. It's supposed to grab on there, and it doesn't always. There we go. Now it's tight. All right. And so far, I think we're in a good spot here. Okay, I'm going to take my ball nose scraper and kind of clean this up on this side. And one of the things when you're approaching something like this, and I could take this higher. I think I want to. I don't want to fight this too much. It's tenuous at best. But what you do is you always put the heel down first, then come down into your cutting. So heel, cutting, right about there. Especially when you're new or you're not familiar with the tool and the angles, that's always your best bet. Put the heel on first because you won't hurt anything with the heel. Bring it down to the tool rest so it's secured. Remember ABC, anchor it, engage the bevel, and then cut. All right. I think I actually hit the off button there. Now we're getting a nice smooth finish on here. Still a little rumbling on there, but I think we're getting most of it. I'll switch to the skew here in a minute from the scraper. That's a pretty smooth edge. It's pretty smooth. It's a little rough, but it's pretty smooth. I want to address these cracks before I go any further. So I'm going to put a little bit of glue in those cracks. It's not much, a little bit. There's not a lot of them, and I don't think it stresses or goes inside. But it may stress more once you start removing more of the wood on the inside. It may create more stress on the outside crack, and it can crack further. So I take that, take a little of these shavings here that just came off, Get the real powdery stuff if you can. Tap that in there. Go across the grain. Don't go the same direction that if the crack is going this way, you want to go this way. Okay. And the nice thing about that is it will the glue will dry out a little bit because the bits of wood that you are putting in there, dust and so forth, is going to absorb some of that moisture. I do have a little nib there. I got to get that thing that's bouncing. It's a little cut, so I got to go in a little bit deeper. So I think maybe I'll try it with this. Let's see. With the heel of the skew. While that wood is drying. And it's still right there. Okay. Now I'm going to have to use my actual gouge, I think, to do this. Come on, tighten up. Tighten it down. There we go. Let's do a couple of scraping cuts here. You can still feel it's just a little rough right there. Okay. Let's see if I got that. Most of that crack went away. Maybe retreat that a little bit. I think I got that. Got this. We'll sand that off a little bit. We'll get some of this with sanding. Yeah, there's another piece right there. So, okay. Let's go back and do a little bit more with the glue. On this side. And right there on this side. Okay. Pound it on that side. Get some of it going on this side. There. Okay. Rub that off a little bit. Okay, now I do have a little rollover on the lip here, or on the edge here I need to fix. And this is bark, and it feels rough, but I think it'll stay. And if that'll stay on when I'm turning, that'll be great. If it doesn't, then we're going to have a big hole like here. We're going to have a big piece that comes off. So we got to be kind of careful with that. I think I'll give that just a little shot of CA glue right here around the edge of that, just to see if we can get that to stay on. Okay, that will dry off real quick. Put the accelerator on it, and we're done with that. Okay, just making sure that everything that I got done is good before you go on to the next thing. So that's the real purpose here. You know, give yourself the time. Don't just rush into things. Okay, so we're going to round that corner a little bit. I'm going to round this top up just a little bit too. Okay. Perfect. You can hardly see where those cracks were. They're almost completely invisible now. All right. I think that's a pretty good shape. I think we can work with that. So we'll just get the sanders out here and we'll sand a little. And yeah, move on from that. Sorry. Let's see, Mark. It's complete setup and could be done. Oh, yeah. Sorry, I'm not following up on all the. Not following on all the conversations there. I know you guys sometimes go off on a little bit of a tangent, and that's fine. But if you have any questions for me, please let me know. I'd be happy to answer them for you. I'm going to turn this on. I know it's a little obnoxious hearing this vacuum, but there we go. So this end grain is really shows the roughness. So we got to really spend some time on this end grain. And then get over to this other side here with the crack work. And going on that. And there's still going to be cracks showing a little bit. Don't worry about that. But I did get a chance to get some glue in there to reinforce it a little bit. And you really have to go over this with a pretty low grit first to on the end grain here to make sure that it's really smoothing out some, because otherwise you're going to have a lot of funky lips when you get the finish on it. Sanding is actually takes longer sometimes than the turning does. I'm not going to sand the completion on you guys today because you have things to do, I have things to do, and I'm not going to make you sit here and watch a man sand wood all day. But I do want to get it at least to somewhat of a comfortable position. Let's see here. At the bottom here. Get it cleaned up. Get in here. Okay. Now I'm going to reverse this. And if your lathe doesn't have a reverse, I mean, that's one of the things that I always look for in buying a new lathe, to make sure it's got a reverse on it. That's really useful. It attacks the grains from the opposite way. Allows you to really get a nice smooth fit. Now this is just 60 grit, and it's already very smooth in my hand. We'll go over this with a higher grit, but it's really, because it's such a hard wood, it's already in really good shape. We go to a 120. And the reason I'm not spinning this is because I don't want to have stripes going across like this in the sanding. Sometimes when you spin the wood, you get a lot of that sniping kind of action that goes across it. It shows up in your spinning. So I like using this method to make sure that I'm getting it nice and smooth and get of a finish when I can on it. That. I'm going to turn this on a little bit. That direction. And we'll reverse it. In this direction. Now just very quickly, very lightly run it across there. That's all I'm going to do on that. Okay. We'll go to one more, just a 240, and then I promise you we'll be done. Don't run off. I know some of you are leaving when you see guys standing, you tend to leave, so we're just going to give this a real quick 1-2 here, and we'll put some finish on this. You get the chance to see what the outside looks like before we go on the inside. This is going to be interesting. I'm not sure what it's going to look like either, but I can tell you it's already reflecting light. It's so smooth that it's almost got a mirror type finish to it. And that's just for the 240. If I went up to like 1,000 grit with this thing eventually, it would probably shine like a bowling ball or something. And it is really, really tight, tough wood. I have a feeling on the inside it may be that way also. A little bit of concern about that. Okay, that is the end of that. Let's get some finish on it. Let's put a little finish on this and see what we got, okay? So for now, I think I'll just use my normal tung oil and just kind of get that on there and see what shows up. I'll bring you guys in for a closer look here in a second too. Just bear with me. You can kind of hang over it here a little bit. It's looking every bit like walnut. Even though that outward bark didn't look like it, but it would make sense. I do pick up a lot of walnut around. Now, see, there's a scratches right here I didn't see before. So if I was going to go back to refinishing this is what this will show that up, and you can go back and you can fix that up later. There we go. Okay. That first coat has been just about sucked in by this. Yeah, this is definitely going to need some more sanding. But at least now you can see roughly what it's going to look like, okay? So, yeah, please hit that like button. With all the people that are watching here, there's like 250 or something like that in here now. Something. Hi, Vince. welcome everybody else. And if I missed you, I'm sorry. Hey, Michael, nice to see you. You're thinking about what? Okay. Hey, Jeff, Mike, and Mike. Okay. We got the Mike and Mikes. Mike, I don't know if you saw the beginning of this, but here's my my fix for my tool rest. There it is. It's a rubber hose with 3 clamps, and so far it's working. I mean, so far we haven't gotten killed, so we're still all here. I guess I shouldn't use the word killed on a video because they get all mad about that. I would like to get over 100 likes today. That would really be helpful. But I tell you, I woke up this morning. I was not feeling good. I was up all night last night with something, and I didn't know if I was going to make it today. But I'm glad you all are here. It gives me a little bit of energy to keep going. So thank you for being on. Okay, I think I'm going to just let that set in, and I'm going to go ahead and take it off of its take it off of here. There we go. And you can see why I didn't use this side. I have a big hole right there. So I'm hoping that that's something that's workable once I get inside here and start turning, because otherwise that's going to grab and it's going to come off, and we're going to have a catastrophe on our hands that I just really don't want. So let's see what we can do here. Take these off. Hi.
Hi.
Now my wife's in here. Some of you know her. I've seen some of her work lately. She wants to get back on the lathe, but she was on the lathe when it broke. So not her fault. Not her fault. Honest, not her fault. I'm telling you that right now. It wasn't her fault. But she was on the lathe when it broke. I'm just saying. Okay. So it had to happen to somebody. And no, I didn't set it up so that she would break it when I wasn't right. I was right here. So don't go accusing me of anything. Hey, soldier. I'm not sure if I can use. I may not be able to use this chuck. Come to think of it, I might have to use my bigger chuck. I didn't even measure that. To be honest with you, we were so busy talking about other things here. I didn't measure my chuck. So this one might be too big. Let me think. Maybe not. I'll try it. I'll try this one. See if I can get it to work. I was eyeballing it best. And please grab. Please grab. Just not quite. Okay, well, back to the drawing board. I will take this off. Well, the other alternative here, I don't want to open this one up too wide, because that doesn't make for a good hold. Yeah, please hit the like button. See, if you do this, you're not going to have a good connection. So what I might have to do, I might have to go put that back on that I just took off. Fortunately, it should screw right back on. making sure I'm right in the right holes. Okay, because this could throw it off a little bit. Take it out of round. I don't want to take it out of round if I don't have to. Okay. Oop. Okay. Hopefully it's still round. We don't have to change that too much. Perfect. Great. Okay. So I'll just take this down a little bit. And that was just dumb me, quite honestly. I'm going to put this down just a little bit. There we go. Get my skew. Get the right skew. There we are. And we will see if I'm pretty close there. Getting closer anyway. Yeah, okay. I can go down some more. Okay. I think I'm getting a little bit closer. Let me line this down. And I want to get to about here where it's circular. So make sure I get a little bit of a dovetail in there. Okay. Let's see how we're doing. We are getting very, 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 very close. Okay. Of course, you can't take too much. If you take too much off, and you're taking it off for good. So we'll go down just a little more. We'll call that good. That looks good. Clean off the top a little bit. I need to raise this up just a hair. Trying to get it to lock now is not easy. The locking mechanism is now screwed up a little bit. Ah! Come on, catch. All right. There we go. Come up just a little bit. Boy, trying to get this to clamp is really becoming a problem here. There we go. Come on. All right. See if I can do that. Just want to kind of get that cleaned out of there. Yeah. All right. Well, let me see if I can get this. I think I need to move that up a little bit. There we go. Now it should work. These clamping mechanisms are very touchy. There we go. Now I can raise this up and I can clean that off. Okay. There. Didn't want that tenon to be too long. Okay, this should work now. Yep, that will work. Okay, now back to what we were saying before. Take this off. Take the bolts out and the screws out. Uh-oh. Of course, my battery dies on me. Always something. Always have backup batteries ready. That's the key. There we are. Okay, now, one more time. We'll try and do this. Put the chuck on. Okay. Get the key here. Open it up just a little bit. There we go. Seems to be seated well. Pretty close. Maybe slightly off. That's to be expected with remounting it and all that. So, all right. Let's see if we could do this without too many people getting hurt. Again, I don't recommend you do this at home. It's not a smart move. It was my stupid idea. Okay. Wow, being a chef made you lose weight? Well, that's because you didn't allow to eat at 2 o'clock in the morning when you're getting off work. Michael. Okay. Let's see where we're at here. easy right now. Whoa, that's what we were worried about. Oh, there it went. Yeah. Well, and it tore some of this tenon off, so we can't use that tenon that way. You know, we're just going to have to rethink this a little bit. But the good news is this is held up. So the idea of the whole experiment was to see, would this hold up? And it does. The fact that I hit this and that caused it to come flying off, even though I had it at an angle, it's just what happens. Hi, Roland. Yeah. I like where it's. Yes, well, it's one of the reasons I wanted to finish, just so you know, I know what you're saying there, soldier, but when your major tool is out, you try and find other things to do. Which, by the way, let me show you over here. This is what I've been working on. Oops, sorry. I've been making blanks and more blanks. Oops. And more blanks. Right here, there's about almost 50 blanks already all done and waxed in different categories. I got sequoia and modesto ash, and we've got cottonwood, and we've got cork oak, and we've got regular oak, and I have some mahogany and other pieces which I haven't even gotten to these slabs yet, nor this big piece over here that you see I have all lined out for dishes to be turned. So we've got quite a bit on our plate as far as what we need to get done this year. But yeah, I think we're going to call it on this one because I don't want to bore you guys with all the details of getting this back together, because I don't think it's going to be a worthwhile endeavor in a short period of time. It's going to be something I'm going to have to work at a little bit. And this is pretty tough wood. It does seem to be walnut, as best I can tell, but it's figured walnut. You can see the figuring in there. I don't know if you can or not, but anyway, I'll work on that and I'll get that ready to go. And meanwhile, guys, I really appreciate everybody being in here today. We did almost hit 100 likes. I mean, it'd be nice if anybody could help us get to 100. We're like 13 away, I think, or something like that. So any of you that are still in here that hasn't hit the like button, yeah, it's a lot of blanks. I know. This is just my small list. I've still got a whole woodshed full of wood blanks also. So it's not just those blanks. It's the blanks that I have for a lot of other projects going too. So yeah, there's plenty more to turn. There will be a lot to turn for the next couple of years anyway, I hope. But of course, I got to have my part first. So hey, Laguna, if you're listening out there, get my part to me so I can do this. It would really help us. Send some across the pond. Well, you know, if I thought I could do it at a reasonable rate, I'd probably do that, Michael. But I don't have anything here that you don't have there, I don't think. I mean, well, other than the sequoia, I don't think you have any of that. But I'm sure you have access to walnut of some sort, and cottonwood probably too. And you got some great woods that I don't even have access to. So you know, we all turn what's available in our area. Been out of your shop for a month. Yeah, that's a long time. Yeah, but in the meantime, you've been building up all sorts of connections, so you've got other things going. Later, Vinny. Take care. Appreciate you guys coming in. Macarios writes, Hi, cool guy, cool channel. Well, thank you. I hope you've subscribed. Again, we couldn't finish what we did, but we did manage to get what we wanted to start with, which was to fix the tool rest, at least to a point. I think I've got some more work to do on this banjo, but as far as holding the rest in place, it's holding it actually almost better than what was going on before. Walnut's really scarce, huh? That's interesting. Well, I know they had a problem with the English walnut a few years ago. No cork oak and sycamore would be close to the cottonwood. Yeah, and I've got sycamore too. We've got both of those. I also got some in here somewhere. I've got some spalted pine and some more of that juniper and a couple pieces of manzanita. So I'm not sure what this will end up being. This might end up being a tool handle. For all I know, this might be a tool handle when I'm all done with it. Yeah, because this is a piece that I just kind of inherited from our woodworking group. And again, if you guys aren't part of woodworking group, you should be. Look around, see if you can't find them. You'd be surprised. Once I joined the woodworking group and thought everybody was kind of out of town, I found out there was a whole bunch of guys within about 3 blocks of me that were wood turners. So we all kind of go to each other's house and knock on the door every once in a while. And yeah, so that woodworking groups are a great way to share ideas and to grow your skills and abilities, and it's a nice fellowship. So just like the group here. Well, you could start a group, Michael. You could start it. You could start a group. You might, if you put out an ad saying, "Hey, are there any guys interested in woodworking or wood turning?" You might be surprised how many people come out of the woodwork. It really does happen. Yes, oak is good. Oak is really good, but some of the oak that I've got is really, really hard oak. It's not the softer oak that a lot of people are used to. And hard oak can be a real bear to turn. I've also got some oak burl. And oak burl is beautiful, but it again offers an awful lot of all those little gaps and stuff in the wood offer an awful lot of opportunities for a lot of different things. So woodwork is fun. I'd probably make a chest set and call it quits. Well, maybe, but a chest set would be a lot of fun to make. I mean, there's a lot of different things you can do with turning. Whiskey barrel, oak. Yeah. Well, and making a bar out of a whiskey barrel is not fun either. Ask Michael DeLauder at the Whacking Shack. He swears he'll never do that again. That was a bear for him. But yeah. Well, anyway, guys, if you can't hit that like button, please do like and subscribe. We're trying to build it up. We're at like 4,059 subscribers, I think, as of this morning. And it'd be nice to get to let's say 4,100, 4,200 in the next week. And we can just keep growing until we get to that 5,000 mark. So really appreciate you all being in here. I'm going to go relax. And like I said, I wasn't feeling too good when I got started this morning. So yeah, rolling pins, get rolling pins, bottle stopper blanks. Yeah, all that stuff, Michael. You're absolutely right. Well, I'm gonna go because Michael, it's 11:15 your time, and I'm sure you need to get some rest also. So we'll talk to you guys all soon. Thank you all for being here, and we'll see you on Thursday because we are going to do a live on Thursday. Hopefully, I've got some of these things taken care of, and we'll be able to do a real turning. Okay, so thanks for the experiment.